Welcome to today's session of, guys, we didn't pick an RPG. We didn't pick one. Did anyone bring one?
What do you mean we didn't pick one?
We didn't pick one.
I have 12.
Hold on, let me check my bag of holding.
Did anyone bring any RPGs that we were supposed to get this tabletop started today?
Oh, that's where I left the Crown of Karsus.
Guys, the turtle over there is being very sad. Does that turtle have any games?
What?
I think this turtle just kind of wandered into my house. Anyway, that was my very terrible improv of an intro. I'm sorry, I wasn't ready.
I thought you were masterful.
I wasn't ready either.
No, I wasn't ready. Are any of us truly ready? No.
For these nuts, maybe.
God damn it, turtle.
You walked into that one.
I did. Anyway, yes. Today's King of drafted video, RPGs. I didn't plan the intro super well just because I was working on that last one for a while and I had a lot of stuff. It's been busy over here, so I need to relax with some RPGs and I need some suggestions. Despite what people might think, I have not actually played a lot of RPGs. I need more. So, this serves dual purpose for me, at least. Anyway, introducing today's players.
I am Fexic the Hero Dude.
What is up, RPG protagonists? It's your boy MassFitFan42. No wait, I'm Peter /Burp. Gonna loot your house. XD.
I feel like that's still true. We have a newcomer here, this little turtle on a stool.
Hello, I'm Tiny Tired Turtle. I'm corporate slave, webcomic artist, all around turtle.
Yes. So, because I realized I need to start adding some stuff into this intro, you will find all of Turtle's links that Turtle chooses to give me in the description below, so please go check out Turtle's stuff. As well as this cat. Guys, where's the cat?
Did someone let the dog loose?
It's not in my bag of holding, I can promise you that.
Okay, well, hopefully the cat will show up. If the cat shows up, we'll figure that out then. But for now, Sam's supposed to be here, but is not. If they show up, you'll see them. If not, like I said, we'll just go on without them. That's just how things are. How it is. Anyway, yes, today's topic, RPGs. It's a very broad topic, so I kind of left this one up to people's individual interpretations. If someone suggests something that you may not see as an RPG, maybe they just have differing opinions on what an RPG is. By a technicality, pretty much any game is an RPG.
Yeah, it is very broad.
So, but I did that kind of on purpose because I didn't want to make a definition and have people fight over stuff. It was easier this way. Truly, me just getting out of loopholes.
Fair point.
So that being said. What'd you say? What'd you introduce yourself? The heroic warrior?
The Hero Dude.
The hero dude, there we go. That makes sense. Is going first.
Indeed, and I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna come out swinging with Baldur's Gate 3.
Spoiler warning for all games going forward. If you didn't think a video talking about RPGs would not have spoilers, this is on you.
And his name is John C.
In the age of modern gaming, where developers are pressured to put out fresh titles once or twice a year, there's something special to be said about a title that's baked with love and in the oven until it's fully cooked. And that is, for the most part, what Larian Studios did with BG3. I say most part because, yeah, Act 3 left a couple things on the cutting room floor, and you don't need to be a genius to see that there are a handful of Chekhov's guns that got left on the wall. But now that we've addressed the Hollyphant in the room, let's get into why it's here. I'm a huge fan of games where your decisions throughout the story impact the final ending, and by every god does this game deliver on that. Some of the most seemingly benign, unobtrusive actions and dialogue options that you can make have a massive ripple and play out between Acts 1 and 3. Even your in-game companions have their own goals and morality through which they judge the choices you make in their presence. If they approve enough of you, you suddenly have more options when staring down the big bad at the end of the run. If they disapprove enough, they may well pack their bedroll and leave your camp permanently. It's a Dungeons & Dragons game, and like many in the mainstream canon, takes place on the Sword Coast, specifically in and around the city of Baldur's Gate. Shocker, I know. It follows either your custom character or any of the companions available in the first act, known as origin characters, as they escape a Mind Flayer Nautiloid after being infected by elithid tadpoles. With the vile threat of Ceramorphosis in their future, they must look for a means to remove the tadpoles before they're forced to transform into Mind Flayers. All the while, sinister designs are afoot in Baldur's Gate, and as the road stretches before the party, they learn that the two issues are far more connected than they first seemed. In addition to the admirable attention to detail across the entire game, I love that even if you take away the D&D name and all the proper nouns associated with it, this game would still be amazing. The characters are well written, the sheer number of gameplay possibilities based on race, class, and build alone is simply stupid, and the voice acting is on point. This is a perfect example of time and care being taken to produce a game that exceeds all expectations. My only hope for the future, now that Larian is officially done with D&D games, is that Hasbro has sense enough to not adopt the once-a-year routine that's ruined and discredited so many companies before them.
I have not played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but I've only heard good things about it.
I've watched my
I
partner
really-
playing it. It looks like a really good game.
It really is. I'm on my 4th playthrough now, and I've devolved to the point where I just make ridiculous roleplay.
To be fair, that's what I do anyway, so...
This particular one, I made Omni-Man.
Oh no.
Yep. About to take Baldur's Gate like a Viltrumite.
That's
Just
not-
murder everyone.
Pretty much.
It's also interesting to know it's one of the franchises that started with BioWare with the first 2 games. And then, obviously, as said, Larian took over for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, what, like many years after the last game, right? Because the last one was like, what, 2000?
So, yeah,
I think
it'd been a
so,
long time.
yeah.
You can get it on Steam, and I can tell you, just looking at the graphics, you can tell like how dated it is.
Oh yeah, huge difference between them. Yeah, I really like it. It's... Between me and my wife, it occupies probably the majority of what we play currently, and it's really just a good time.
Eventually, I will play this game, but for the time being, we must press
It's
forward.
in my battle.
That we must.
It's on my wish list. Eventually, I'll get to it. Anyway, it's now my turn, and everyone knows I'm a big fan of Dark Souls, but this time I'm not picking Dark Souls. I'm going Dark Souls adjacent. I'm going with Bloodborne. So, for those that are unaware, Bloodborne, again, a Souls game, so you can already get what the gameplay is kind of like. But style and presentation is where I really like. It is a gothic eldritch horror in England. That's basically the setting of what you've got to deal with. You've got these, but you got a whole mix of like these gothic horrors. The first thing you encounter is a cleric beast, which is a giant monstrosity covered in hair, looking of the more modern depiction of a Wendigo. So very similar to that, and it's the first thing you fight. It is, in terms of like monster design, it is scary. I mean, in context of the game, not that scary. But I just love the idea of mixing the gothic with the eldritch style, because it's really cool for design purposes. But when you go into the story, that's where things get insane. A bit of a content warning here, but Bloodborne is all about birth and pregnancy and the lack thereof consent in some context, and the way it presents itself is you do have to think about it a little bit, but it's not like so hard to realize upon what's going on in the story, and the way that the game presents it is beautifully bizarre is the best way I can describe it. it's definitely an experience you should try to experience for yourself again. It is hard. It is definitely one of the harder games in the Souls series, but it is a mastercraft in storytelling without the words.
Also, Doc, I'd
Never
play
actually-
it, but you know, it's not on computer.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. That blame Sony for that. It's stuck on the PlayStation, stuck on the PlayStation 4, you know, and everyone's saying, give us a PC port, give us ports, you know, but they're not doing anything with it.
Instructions unclear. We don't want money.
Like I said, it is hard. Be aware of that, but it is enjoyable when you can get the hang of it.
I'm not one to shy from a challenge.
But yeah, Bloodborne. I know I always talk about the Souls games, but this time it was Bloodborne's turn. I think it's the best story. I think it has the best story of all the Souls games, even though you don't directly know most of the story. I will pass it along to Turtle. Turtle, this is your first time. Do not be nervous. We are here to help you when we can.
Too late, I'm nervous.
Oh no.
But, I don't play a lot of, like, the really big RPGs often, but I play a lot of those smaller ones, and one on my list is I Was a Teenage Exocolonist.
I give you one more chance.
It's basically, well, I'm gonna read the description because it's better wording than I would, but it's a single-player narrative RPG, and it blends elements like life simulation, visual novel, and deck building. And honestly, like when I played it, it was really fun, but there were so many endings to it that I just didn't get to all of them. But you basically spend your teenage years going to a different planet, and you grow up, you have different situations where you, like, wild animal shows up, what are you gonna do? And if you don't do anything about it, it tanks the food storage at your colony, and little choices just end up stacking on each other that you don't even realize. It's just you growing up on as an exocolonist. It's a really fun game, and there's so many different aspects to it that I still haven't explored.
And what is this one called again?
I was a
I was
teenage
a-
exocolonist.
Yeah, it's there in the chat.
It's a...
What's it for?
What's it for?
Yeah, like what consoles is what he's asking.
Yeah, what platforms?
Oh, it's on Nintendo Switch and Steam and consoles now. But
Interesting. I've got a Switch. I
it
might
came out in
actually look into that.
2002.
Huh.
2002?
Yeah. Yeah. It came out a while ago. But it relies heavy on the deck building part. Like, you have to really get your deck together to make sure you get certain outcomes. I know one of my first playthroughs, no spoilers, but there is someone that dies, and if you don't build your deck correctly, they can end up passing away, and the story is bent around this person not surviving. So if you build your deck correctly, they can actually survive, but,
Huh.
Interesting.
you know.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very unique, and I liked it when I played it. I think y'all will too.
I will add that to my list.
I'm sorry, I'm bad at words.
No, it's okay. You're doing fine.
Yeah, the art was another reason why I picked up the game, because it looked very pretty. But it does rely heavy on deck building and knowing how your cards work. Otherwise, the life of your colony could actually, you know, you could kill your colony if you don't build your deck right and
Oh,
get
you
certain
can Oregon
outcomes.
Trail them?
Yeah, basically.
Maybe that was
Oh,
part. Maybe
no.
that was part of the inspiration. Honestly, you never know where inspiration
Really?
comes from with these things.
Very true.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out later. And you should too, watching this. You watching
Mhm.
this. Go check it out. And if there's nothing else, we shall pass it along to Peter. Good job, Turtle.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Doc, I'm sorry. My first choice, Mass Effect 3.
Damn it! How many times did I tell you not to trust Cerberus?
You're not telling me anything I haven't told myself, Jack.
Oh, you feel bad? Well, shit. I bet that's a big comfort to all the people Cerberus has killed.
As charming as ever.
Bite me, Garrus. Better yet, bite her. Probably how she likes it.
So, Mass Effect 3. It isn't perfect. Like Chris was saying with Baldur's Gate, but even more so, Mass Effect 3 has a very controversial ending. But I'm gonna say, when it reaches its heights, it really reaches heights. I can't talk much of the game without spoiling its major narrative and character impacts that have been building across the trilogy, but what I can say is the game delivers some of the best moments in the franchise's history. Plot threads set up since the first and second games conclude in this game. I love to play Mass Effect 3, it's the best game of the three purely on a gameplay level. The combat feels incredible, refined, it's everything you kind of want to play in that sort of like sci-fi action shooter vibe. It's a lot more Gears of War-ish, I suppose, is the best comparison. And it's not been kind of outdone since middle finger at Mass Effect Andromeda right now. Moving on. It's set during the Galactic War. The Reapers are here, set on exterminating almost all sentient life in the galaxy. The stakes have never been higher. It's a huge scale setting for the game, and you feel the impact of the war in big and little ways. There's a few games that immerse you in the stakes of the settings, but Mass Effect 3 delivers it perfectly. You truly do feel like the end of days are upon you when you play this game. As a conclusion to a trilogy, the game delivers some incredible payoffs, with returning characters like Admiral Addison being treated more like a father figure to the player character in this game. There's other characters, like iconic characters like Admiral Hackett, who return and get a bigger role than ever. The game really kind of blows up the stakes and makes you feel the Galactic War scale. There's some great new additions. There's Eve, who's the first female Krogan, who provides a whole new dynamic side to the Krogan species that you've known since the first game. An incredible character who feels like she's been here since Mass Effect 1, with how quickly you get comfortable with her, and how she connects to other characters you've known for the other games. There's interesting political figures like Adrian Victus, who's a character who is a soldier who gets thrown into the political world, and he's having this whole military crisis of, oh, I'm not a politician, and I'm being made the leader of my species during wartime. Why am I sat in a boardroom kind of deal? It's really interesting, even with like the relatively minor characters in the grand scheme of the franchise. They do some really cool stuff with them. Like every good RPG, there's a lot of squad mates, your companions. You've got Garrus again from the other two games, who's as interesting as endearing as ever. He's providing your character as like the best friend kind of character who you can be a confidant with. You can talk to him and more. And there's one more name I'll mention, Javik. I won't say much about him, but honestly, one of my favorite characters in the franchise, exclusive to this game. Fascinating, and I can't tell you why. Just go play it and find out why. Furthermore, choices feel huge in this game. On a galactic scale, you can impact so much. You can genocide species depending upon your choices. You can be heroic. You can be doing things for the greater good that aren't inherently good. You can do cruel choices. There's so much fascinating impact of what the player can do in this game. There's a great hub world with the Normandy, which is already a great ship in the other two games, but this version takes it more. There's more interactions. There's more companions moving about the ship and interacting with each other. The game truly feels alive. And finally, I want to shout out the DLC of this game, the Citadel DLC to be precise. No other game I know has something like this. A love letter to the characters and the fan base. Comedy gold, heart-tugging interactions between characters, and just a showcase of what we love about Mass Effect. The characters we come to know across three games all come together in a great celebration that's hilarious and a perfect send-off for the franchise. If nothing ever came out after this DLC with Mass Effect on it ever again, I'd be content with it. Citadel, perfect DLC. The best DLC in gaming, and that's it for Mass Effect 3. A flawed yet lovable conclusion to a near-perfect trilogy.
I was getting ready to cut you off, so good thing you ended it.
Yes. I told you I trimmed it down.
Good. But, I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say now because I stopped myself. Oh, you know what? I was going to say the gameplay is I've only played 1 and 3, but 3 feels so much better gameplay-wise than
Yeah.
1.
It is very fun to play.
So much better, they added a multiplayer mode.
There's something so thought-provoking about listening to a British owl pontificate on his passions.
The multiplayer is good fun. I know me, Dillog, and MJ back in the day spent a good amount of hours on it. Not so much because it is just a horde mode. You know, fight waves of enemies up to a point, but you get different settings, you fight different enemies, and you can choose a bunch of different class and races, so it's still pretty fun.
It is great in the sense of, as Mass Effect fans, they were surprised when they were developing Mass Effect 2 that, oh, you guys want to, romance the aliens? Huh? And then you get to play the aliens in multiplayer, and you're like, hello, I'm having fun.
I mean, is that not what man dreamed of when first he gazed up at the stars?
I mean, the franchise is inspired by Star Trek. I don't know what they were expecting, to be honest. It's a flawed game, but I adore it in its own right. Like, there's so many good highs that, like, the lows don't really matter in the grand scheme.
The doc knows, given the... Oh, yeah, given the movie you watched the other day, we strive for perfection, which, of course, does not exist.
Oh god, that movie was so good. Oof. When relative, I will be bringing that movie up in one of these drafts.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Anyway, continuing on back on topic.
Yeah, so if there's nothing more to say on that, shall I move on because we don't have a cat?
The cat has not appeared, so please press on.
Okay, I'll bring my unexpected first card on this board. I'm gonna pick something you wouldn't even consider as an RPG. I choose Club Penguin.
Club Penguin.
I don't know what this is.
I kind of expect not this, but I expected a little bit of like, is this an RPG? Is it not? Kind of discussion to pop up at some point. So I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one.
Yep. So this is a nostalgia pick. Club Penguin is an MMORPG. It's one of the iconic Flash-based video games of my childhood, having so much to do in it beyond its social elements. Want to play some minigames? There's kart surfing, puffle rescue, and so many more that could fill your time. Want to partake in fashion? There's plenty of stores and free cosmetics to find for your achievements, and going digging in books to find cute little pins. There's so many things you can do in this game. Read the newspaper and get immersed in the world. There's a literal news columnist who writes newspapers all the time when this game was live. You can tip the iceberg with other penguins as a classical comedy little joke, like rumor thing that was around and then became an actual game feature. You can become a secret agent. You can partake in a stage play. There's so much to do. The Club Penguin felt really creatively free and safe as a child. It was that sort of safe place of, multiplayer online gaming, but it's appropriate for kids. It's got a good, wholesome vibe to it. When life got me down, I could sink into the safe and comfortable world it provided. There was always something new, becoming a black belt ninja in Card-Jitsu, the card game, which had a sort of rock, paper, scissors kind of combat style, so it was very simple to get into for kids. It was truly a comfort game for me. I even made a real-life friend during my most shy years, because she and I both played the game together outside of school. It's a really just, sheer wholesome memory for me. I genuinely can't express how much good vibes thinking of this game gives me. Rest in peace, Club Penguin. You'll always be missed.
Rest in peace, Club Penguin. Fuck you, Disney.
Yeah.
It's a very wholesome reason
feel
for
so bad
including it here. I like that.
Emote for that dance.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you do have a Club Penguin dance emote, don't you?
I thought I was really the only one that remembered the dance nowadays.
No.
Yeah, because I've seen a couple of these images and box arts, but I've never actually known what they were from. So now I have a concept to go with the images.
Yeah, you were a little older, so by the point Club Penguin was kicking off, you probably wouldn't have been interested in it.
Probably not.
But
That's unfortunate too. This looks kind of cute.
It
It
was.
is,
You could. It was. The fun little
There's
things you can do. You
fantastic
can throw
with it.
snowballs at each other. They didn't do anything. You just do it. You get the little puffball things were called puffles. You can get different colors and customize them a little bit.
Yeah, Puffle
That's
Pets.
fun.
There was also celebrities in the game, like Rock Hopper and the DJ. There was like multiple like Penguin celebrities you can meet, which were like run by the actual game staff back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really cute.
it was a very healthy game, but for kids. That's the best way I can describe it.
Oh, that's wholesome. I like
I actually
that.
own some of the Card-Jitsu cards in real life to this day.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
to this day, I still love the very simple, cartoony art style that Penguins have.
Yeah, it's great.
Fun can come from anywhere. The argument is whether you consider this an RPG or not. Which
And
I
when
guess
they got bought out by Disney, you got Star Wars and Marvel events as well, so there's that.
they cared about it enough for a little while, but I guess when it wasn't printing enough money,
Then we got Club Penguin Island that quickly died.
well, what can you do?
Yeah, that was the thing. Alright, well, that's me done. That's my quick and easy round over.
Turtle, when you are ready, you may present.
Oh god, it's me again.
Yes.
Uh,
Alright, take a breath.
okay, so my
got
my
this.
second choice is Indivisible. I don't know if anyone here has heard that, but it came out in 2019. Let
I
me
haven't.
Pull up the... Yeah, it's actually really, really fun. It's a platformer RPG compared to the deck building one that I brought up the last time. But you're basically playing this girl that is in a small village, and she's like a normal girl that, she's learning to fight from her teacher, and everything's fine and dandy, but one day her village burns down and is attacked and everything. She has to go on her own to find the people that destroyed her village. But on the way, she meets companions that she can actually put inside her head, because that's her power that she figures out throughout the game. No spoilers, but it's super fun. I really liked playing it. I don't recommend it on console though, because there is not enough controls, and I had a hard time playing it on console. But it has like a wide variety of characters, and all of them have such interesting personalities, and the voice actor of Symmetra voices in it, and it's so cool. But yeah, it's very fun. The art is very pretty and beautiful, and I definitely recommend it, just not on console.
Yeah, the images I'm looking at make it look really interesting. I might actually look into this one too.
You know, initially, upon
Yeah.
seeing the box art there, Chris, it kind of looked a little bit like, Scott Pilgrim, a little bit.
Yeah, kinda. That might actually be why it appeals to me slightly. I suspect I'm gonna have my catalog broadened slightly just by having Turtle in this list.
This is very possible.
Yeah, I play a lot of the like small indie games that no one really pays attention to, because the big ones always cost like $60.
Yeah.
That's fine. I've also played some of the smaller ones, and sometimes you never know what little things you can find that are just really nice. Being said, I shall take it over from here. I am interested in this one. I'm gonna see if I'll probably be adding all of Turtle's games onto my Steam list later.
This main character looks like
It's a
she would
very
be
short
hanging out with
game.
Shantae.
A little bit, yeah.
Like if they did a crossover where the two existed in the same universe, I can see that happening.
It's a very short game, so I imagine that you wouldn't have to spend too much time on it, but it's very fun.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. On my days off, I have practically nothing but time.
Alright. Well then, I shall proceed with my following turn. And this is actually one that someone else got me to play. It's been a little while since I have played it. Good old PS1 era RPG. during the golden age of them, personally, I think. I'm going with Parasite Eve. This is actually one that MJ got me to play a while back.
Yeah, I remember. What, 2 years ago now?
4 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, my sense of time is fluid.
Yeah, I looked it up earlier, so because I was trying to remember how between the first game and the second game, the gameplay does differ a little bit. So I went back to look at it. It's like, all right, this is probably closer to a traditional RPG. Well, it's kind of closer to like Final Fantasy VIII in terms of how it plays, where you have the timed action bar that goes up, and then you can do an action, but you can move around in a set field, so you can try to avoid being hit. So it's a little different than most RPGs I can think of. And your weapons are a mix of, you have these magic skills, sort of magic skills. It's weird. This game's a bit of a science fiction. It is science fiction. Basically, for some reason, the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, is rebelling against you. That is literally the plot. The mitochondria of the cells within the city are rebelling against the host bodies, turning people and animals into these bizarre, nightmarish creatures. And you play as Aya Brea, one of my favorite female protagonists, which you can see on the box right here, but I'll find a better image of her. Who is, I forget her role exactly. I believe she's a police officer in this first one for the New York Police Department, so NYPD. This does take place in New York for the most, not for the most part, the whole game. You go to Carnegie Hall, you go to the Natural History Museum, I forget, and then you end up on a boat and on the Hudson?
I really hope that's her civilian attire, because if not, she got her uniform stuck in a trash disposal.
I think when if I remember correctly, the game starts, she's kind of like off duty. So she was...
Okay, then yeah, probably civilian attire.
Yeah, so she does have some more like uniforms, but
well, in that case, I approve of her fashion sense.
Yes, she's very Android 18. In terms of looks.
Yeah, I like the non-uniform better.
Anyway, point being, badass woman. She's able to, for some reason, control her mitochondria, mitochondrial powers, whatever reason. You find that out later in the game. I don't want to spoil too much. And you have a big antagonist named Eve, and she's the one that's kind of like going around like activating all the mitochondrias. It's just a crazy science fiction set in New York. It plays super well. It plays uniquely. Like I said, you get to move around the battlefield to avoid damage, but you also have to sit and wait to use your attacks and everything. It's just different, and I like it for the fact that it's something unique. Not only that, the soundtrack of this game is crazy good for no reason. Like,
yeah, Square games are always good with soundtrack.
Oh yeah, and I don't know why, but it's just some of them I'll use as background music. For a while, I used like the main library theme in my D&D session, because it's just so relaxing.
Nice.
As like an in-between music.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with music if you're pulling from a Square game. Like, even some of the wackier ones like Kingdom Hearts has some real headbangers.
Oh yes, my favorite RPG, Kingdom Hearts.
Kind of want to see what that game would be now.
But yeah, that's it. I'll pass it along. Just a little bit of science fiction, not usually a genre I pick too often. All right, up to you, Chris.
Indeed. And Peter, I do believe you have inspired me, good sir, with a piece taken from your childhood and blanketed thickly with the innocent nostalgia of youth, and I feel I should return that gesture in kind. So I'm going to put forth The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Ah, fuck, that's what I forgot to put on my list. God damn it.
Moon game.
You know, and me
Oh,
and
no.
Peter, we talked about this the other week, and I completely forgot to put it on my list. I knew I was missing something. Damn it.
Oh.
I can't even be mad at you because you didn't snipe me because I didn't put it on my fucking list.
Yeah, but you wanted to. I'll consider this payback for Tharja.
Fair enough. I would have done this first had I realized.
We all remember our first. Dragon Ball Z was my intro to anime, Still Waiting was my intro to Sum 41, and Majora's Mask was my intro to RPGs. Many of us know the plot at this point. The Skull Kid, possessed by the malevolent and sociopathic spirit within the titular Majora's Mask, threatens to drop the moon itself onto the land of Termina unless Link can stop him. Employing the concept of masks with special magical effects and some simplistically clever use of time travel, the game takes place over a constantly repeating 3-day cycle at whose end the moon crashes into the Earth and destroys everyone and everything in the world. This game is what kick-started my fascination with masks as a child that endures into adulthood, and while I didn't quite understand it at the time, an older me applauds this game for its use of existential dread and the generally darker themes that overall feel that kind of permeates the title. Kafei and Anju's quest in particular showcases the desperation of the young lover's situation, as well as the pointless malice of the Skull Kid in having cursed Kafei the way he did. On that note, I made this point back when we did the final bosses draft, but the Skull Kid, or more specifically the spirit of Majora possessing him, is one of the most horrifying entities in gaming. It doesn't want a land to rule or subjects to dominate, and seems to possess no greater agenda beyond causing pain and suffering for its own amusement. It's insane and unpredictable to a fault, even willingly giving Link the fierce deity's mask, a transformation that practically guarantees Majora's downfall, seemingly on a whim. The gameplay mechanics are a welcome return to what was introduced in Ocarina of Time. The plot is surprisingly good considering how many of the assets were recycled from one title to the next. The soundtrack is epic and deserving of no less praise than the game itself. All in all, it's a solid RPG and a solid RPG series that all but ensures it'll stand out and remain memorable against the others in the franchise.
Still pissed I forgot to pick it. Ugh.
To add my 2 cents, can we talk about how great of a design the mask has, Majora's Mask itself?
yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Like, I'm very much like a pseudo outsider to Zelda. I've played a few of them, but like, I kind of respect it more from a distance, but my god, that is one of the best designs in gaming.
Oh, it is every bit as beautiful as it is just haunting to look at.
Yep.
And the way they color it, both on the art that accompanied the game, like that sort of, I don't know what you would call the exact style, but Ocarina of Time kind of did the same thing where in all of the artwork that was presented with the game, anything that's in shadow or darkness is just pitch black.
Yeah.
And that carried over into, of course, the masks as well. And when it comes to Majora, like leaving the eyes glowing amidst that darkness, it just made it so much creepier.
One of my personal favorite games of all times. And oh my god, I still remember this old commercial. I had a VHS tape that had a thing of one of the creators of the game talking about it, and it was like a combo thing that also talked about Banjo-Tooie, which was still fun. But I would watch that VHS because I really, really wanted to play Majora's Mask so badly. I never got my hands on it until I was like 18-ish, where I finally got it, started playing it. I had to put it down because I was, college or whatever. but I got to finally play it a couple years ago and actually beat it. Moon game, moon game, moon game.
Game.
I
Yeah,
was
this
so,
was, like-
so happy.
Like, I didn't really do much in the way of, like, games with puzzles or that challenged you to think around this time, and I think I was 8 when this game came out, and I remember being extremely proud of myself when, on my own, I figured out how to reach the clock tower when you were still stuck as a Deku Scrub.
And it, not to mention, got a nice little remake on the 3DS that made that
It did
graphically
do that.
graphically looks much nicer.
Yeah.
Also, can we bring up the OST? God damn, that's a good OST.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, yes it is.
and the fact they made this game in what was it? Was it 6 months or a year? It was short. It was very short.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
basically reused a lot of the last game and then made something new with it, which really worked in like that twisted sort of mirror sense.
Which is funny because they did the same thing with Melee, and I feel like those two are really close in timeline.
Great pick, Chris. But can you follow it up?
I can. And, you know, we've had our bout with child nostalgia at this point, so I'm going to take it in a complete opposite direction with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
I knew someone would draft this. I'm not surprised it's you.
So, let me tell you a little something about immersion. None of us is a stranger to games where you play the nigh all-powerful protag destined to cleave your name into the annals of history with your weapon of choice and reduce any who stand in your way to a bloody pile of people paste. But then there are games where you can't just run blindly forward, where time and preparation need be taken before battle is blindly joined, lest the bloody pile of people paste be uncomfortably U-shaped. Enter Witcher 3, the third and in all likelihood last entry in the Witcher saga, chronicling the adventures of Geralt of Rivia. The plot follows Geralt as he endeavors to find and vouchsafe his adopted daughter of fate Ciri from the Wild Hunt, who threaten to come and take her for her unique heritage and the power it offers them. All the while, Geralt has his own personal plots unfold, not the least of which being his courting of either Yennefer or Triss Merigold, and let's be real here, it's Triss or nothing. And then there are the slew of subquests and side missions that are guaranteed to have you losing track of real-world time. Now, back to the immersion point. Witcher 3 does not favor the bold who charge dick first into enemy territory. That's how Witchers get witched out in the wood. Instead, the game encourages doing research on your targets, tracking down clues that could lead to potential whereabouts and weaknesses, and crafting potions and other items to give yourself an edge and ultimately better your chances for survival. It actually makes the encounter feel like an actual hunt, and assuming you make it out the other side, your victory over your quarry feels all the better as it validates the time and effort you put into taking it down. And this is one of those games where sometimes there simply is no right answer, and you're left to pick the least shitty of the choices afforded to you. It's a far more realistic take on the concept of monster hunting, especially on the occasion where, just like in real life, humans prove they can be just as monstrous as anything lurking beyond the tree line.
So funny enough, Chris, there's another Witcher game coming out.
Well, jumped that gun then, didn't I?
A little bit, but it's from what I remember of the trailer, since I haven't played the game, it's not about Geralt, it is about Ciri.
Oh, okay, then... So I was half right.
Yeah, I think Geralt still exists in the game. But I think the player character is Ciri this time around.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I mean, they like obviously, of course, depending on which ending you get, Geralt's story kind of ties up with a bow at the end of 3.
So, Chris, two funny things about that. Firstly, I'm going to argue with you. I romance Jen.
You and I can duke this out later.
No, we don't. I respect your choice. But as for endings, I got the worst ending on my first playthrough, which I'm
Oh no.
planning to start my second playthrough soon.
I haven't played it. That's not true. I did play a little bit of it a while back.
It's a very good RPG. I respect
It really is, and the designs of some of those monsters. I mean, well, you've seen the Leshen. That made it into Monster Hunter.
I've watched. I wish this series had more monsters in it, but I only saw the first season. But,
I'd have drafted it myself if I was more familiar with it to be confident enough to talk about it, but I respect it.
fair and valid.
And what I particularly like about Geralt is he does acknowledge that sometimes, yeah, humans are the monsters. And I think there's actually one of the cinematic trailers that focuses on that point.
Well, that's kind of the thing with the Witchers is they look virtually human. They just have like yellow eyes and white hair. That's really the only discerning features about them.
Well, that and all the powers they have.
Well, I haven't played the games. That's as far as I know. Visually speaking, that's as far as that differentiates them from people.
But yeah, the Leshen made it into Monster Hunter. Geralt himself made it into, I believe it was Soul Calibur 6.
Yes.
And that, I'm fairly certain, was long before Henry Cavill even got his hands on the role in the live-action series, so...
Yes, The Witcher 3 was hugely popular.
Yep, it was stupidly successful. Like, it's overblown the actual franchise's popularity at this point.
Hence
But
why
yes,
that's why they made the series.
But if you play the game and you like the game, I'd also highly recommend reading the books.
Readings for nerds.
Guilty.
But no, if you enjoy media and it has outside media of whatever the main context is, go enjoy that media.
Indeed. Then with that, I pass it back off to the doc.
All right, so I'm gonna flip back a little bit because of two of you. I agree with you, Chris. You do need to have a little bit of nostalgia. So I should put some nostalgia on my list. But I agree with Turtle. Card games. Card games. And there is one card game I'm very nostalgic for. I'm going with Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards. So, this is a game on the Game Boy Advance. I had to think for a second. I don't know why I was going to say Game Boy Color when I knew it wasn't the Game Boy Color. Where it takes place during the... I'm blanking. Duelist Kingdom. Not Duelist Kingdom. Battle City. Thank you. So you are your own player character. You're not Yugi. You're your own character. You have to build your deck, and it plays mostly like regular Yu-Gi-Oh, except it has kind of this weird elemental feature that some of the games have. And they're all different for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why they kept doing that. But in this one, it's a bit odd. Like water beats fire. Okay, fire beats forest. Okay, what does forest beat? Earth, I think. Then you have like dream beats fiend. Fiend beats light. Light beats dark. Dark beats dream. It's a weird system. You can get used to it, and generally each person that you duel has their own deck type, so you can kind of counter them by buying the cards you need. And you can grind against certain opponents. You can duel people however you want. There are duels you have to duel for locate a card, but there are duels you can do just to duel. And you fight all like the named characters from the show, and you go through some of the tropes that Battle City went through. You duel Loomis and Umbra on top of the city. You duel and you actually duel Yugi. You take his Egyptian god. You duel Kaiba. You take his Egyptian god. It's just you
Move
going through
over,
battle.
tags.
Oh yeah, you are the ultimate pro tag of.
Hello guys, this is my original character, Duelist the Duelist.
Yeah, pretty much. You're a very blank character with an orange hat, and
I mean, that's basically every Yu-Gi-Oh game though. You play like a blank.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can't say anything about that, especially on GBA. I mean, it's only got so much power on it, but it still plays
My name
really
is
fun.
Shuffle McDuel. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's just nice. It's something different, and out of all of the Yu-Gi-Oh games, maybe it's just pure nostalgia for me, but this is my favorite of the old ones.
Yeah, I have to imagine this occupies a similar place for you as Forbidden Memories does for me.
Probably. You can really probably interchange the two of them. Also, I mean, in terms of gameplay, the GBA one probably plays a little bit better just because, like, it's going off the normal Yu-Gi-Oh system, not...
Yeah, it plays more akin to how the game was actually played.
Yeah, so if you like a more standardized one with something a little extra, with a little extra system in it, that works for you. If you want something that's just completely different, then you play Forbidden Memories.
Yeah, Forbidden Memories looked at the rulebook, ripped out the small handful of pages that it liked, and threw the rest in a volcano.
Plus, since this takes place during Battle City, you get some of the cards that came out after, so you have a little bit more to work with.
Also that.
I'm a World Championship 2007 kind of person.
I haven't played that one yet, and so I can't even know if you can consider that one an RPG. But yeah, I wanted to put one really nostalgic pick for myself in here, so... There it is.
Not bad at all.
Well, there we go then.
Turtle, are you ready?
Oh boy, it's me again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Well, Doc was talking about nostalgia, so I brought up a game that I remember playing when I first started playing on PlayStation. I don't know if anyone here has played it, but it seems like right down y'all's alley. Armello.
So betrayal it is then. The throne shall stay mine.
It came out in 2015.
Oh,
Like,
I've played
really old.
this.
Yeah,
No.
it's a board. Well, hang on. There's multiple genres, but it's a role-playing, turn-based strategy, board game. It's kind of like based off D&D, I believe. It's been a really long time since I played it, but basically the story is that the king of Armello fell ill to a disease called the rot, and you, as a player, can either play with your friends or with AI. The AI are mean, by the way. I always lost to them. They, like, you and a bunch of other players and or AI compete on a board to get to the king to try and take the throne. And you can either let him die of rot, and if you have the most points at the end, become the king, or you can, like, face him head on and claim the throne through battle with him. But it's very hard if you do that. But it's a very good game. I really like the graphics. The game was super fun when I didn't get my ass handed to me by the AI. And I definitely recommend it to anyone that really likes board/D&D-esque sort of games.
At a glance, this looks like Disney's animated Robin Hood if they took off the kid gloves.
so actually, I know a good comparison for this one. This is actually very close to Sid Meier's Civilization, if you're familiar with that. Yeah, it's. I know Sam would have loved this pick because Sam loves playing this game. So, but unfortunately, Sam's not here. And I know Baffy, a friend of Sam's, an associate of mine's, I guess you could say. loves playing this game, and they make it look really fun.
Huh.
Yeah, I've played this for 26.1 hours, last played back in 2018, but I have some fond like game night memories of this. This is a really good game where you grab like 4 friends, sit down and play it together. It's genuinely like a really good like party game.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know. The last game I was pitched where that was the premise left me with some lasting trauma.
We'll do it again. But
And anyway,
Yeah,
it's
I've
not
never-
lasting.
I never actually played with anyone else other than just the AI, so if I happen to find anyone that likes to play this game, that would be fun.
Hello.
there you go.
Hello.
I would gladly play this. If I owned it. That's the end of the sentence, really. I mean, I love these kind of like strategy RPGs. I'm so goddamn bad at them, though.
Same.
Like I love playing like Civilization. I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad.
Turtle, thank you for reminding
It's
me
not
that this
code.
game exists.
It's genuine. I
Yeah.
still love these games, and that might be a low key hit there. That like not even low key. I really like this pick actually.
Mm-mm.
Obviously, I'm not familiar with your first 2 games, but this is putting you higher in my ranking so far.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played it, but it's very fun.
It's a sleeper hit, but it's a good one.
All right, I believe we're on to Peter.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, let's keep some nostalgia rolling, shall we? Should we talk about one of my first games I ever played? How's that
Please
sound?
do.
Sesame Street.
No.
Oh.
I'm not going that nostalgic, but like games that people would know that aren't like really kiddie games, I mean.
Did Faulty Towers make an RPG?
Oh god. No. We're gonna talk about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Our time has come. For 300 years, we prepared, we grew stronger. While you rested in your cradle of power, believing your people were safe and protected. You were trusted to lead the Republic, but you were deceived. As our powers of the dark side have blinded you.
God, he's about to go off.
Don't worry, this is shorter than my Mass Effect segment.
I'm still
racing
putting the
for
timer
impact.
on.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. To be honest, main contender for Mass Effect 2 in terms of Bioware at its peak in my eyes. Sure, the RPG elements of the gameplay is a bit dated, but damn is it worth slogging through for the great narrative and even more perfect character work. KOTOR is how to tell a Star Wars story right, and I pray that that remaster where they said they're rewriting the game never reaches the light of day to taint a masterpiece. The story follows a basic hero's journey at its core, the tale of one Republic soldier who becomes a Jedi Padawan, goes on a quest for another Jedi and a crew of misfits to find the Starforge, an ancient superweapon capable of producing an infinite army of ships and robotic defenders to wage war against the galaxy, opposing against the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Malak and his Sith followers. But the layers of the story through spoilers give it far more depth. Spoiler warning ahead. Darth Malak is the former apprentice of Darth Revan, a character talked about through past tense lore through various characters. A military genius and powerhouse in the Force, Revan was betrayed by Malak during an attack by Bastila Shan, the main companion of the game. You discover during a climatic moment of the game who Revan is, and it changes the story forever in far more complex situation. Revan and Bastila will reunite, and as Jedi face off against Malak. But are they doing so for the good of the Republic, or as individuals who fell back to the dark side? That's your choice in this RPG. But that's underselling the other characters. The lethal and comedic assassin droid, HK-47, with a mysterious past of his own being rediscovered through the droid version of Amnesia, a damaged memory bank. A comedic character who has funny lines such as calling the main villain a meatbag. The Mandalorian mercenary Candor Zordo, telling tales of the Great Mandalorian War between the Republic and the Mandalorians prior to the game, having a perfect old man war veteran story engagement to him. He tells you little war stories and it's very entertaining every time. Baszler herself, who's one of the most layered, flawed, and complex heroic Jedi figures with a unique force power, battle meditation, allowing her to literally turn the tide of a battlefield in the right circumstances, amplifying her allies via the force. And there's many more fantastic companions that are all fascinating in their own right. I want you to explore in your own time. This is one game where I can say I adore every companion. They're all unique, they all stand out alone as individuals, they've got distinct personalities. It's just a really, really well-written game. I don't even put Mass Effect on the praise where I say I like every companion. This is the game where I put there. And that's none to mention the other game's amazing aspects. A unique and distinct era for the Star Wars franchise, its own visual style while retaining the core aspects of Star Wars and its appeals, an amazing OST with instrumental songs that live up to the greatness of John Williams' own music soundtracks. If you even have a passing Star Wars interest, give this game a shot. It's worth it. And if the gameplay really puts you off, go watch it on YouTube. It is genuinely a really good RPG.
All right, just under 3 minutes. Good job there.
You're welcome.
I will also give that franchise this. Like, I love the fact that you said it was Revan, the guy with the mask, Darth Revan.
Yep.
I love that he wields a purple in one hand and a red in the other. That is right up my
Revan
alley.
has a great character design. As I say, the aesthetic is amazing. I love the ships.
Yeah. A, I love
world.
dual blades, and B, I strongly approve of his choice of lightsaber colors. I'm a fan of this man.
Yep. He's a great character, but I won't touch on that for now for spoiler's sake.
I know I have this one in my Steam inventory. Eventually I will get around to it, because goddamn, I'm trying my best. There's so many games I gotta play.
You really should. I love that game.
I know, you always sung its praises, and I know this is just a genuinely popular game among people that have played it, and of Star Wars fans.
Yeah. Alright,
But-
speaking of games I love for characters, shall I move on?
I mean, unless Turtle
Well, I
has
mean,
anything to add.
What?
Exactly.
I
I think you're good to continue. I think you're good to continue. You're good, Turtle. You're okay.
So blown away was Turtle by your entry on the list.
Alright, moving on. Let's tell some tales today. Some tales, if you will.
Oh no.
Wink wink. Let's talk about Tales from the Borderlands.
On your knees! Get on your knees!
No.
The boy and the bot, where are they? Bot sighted!
Hello.
On your knees!
Yes.
Rebel apprehended!
Well done. You're really, really good at this.
Oh, thank you.
Love you.
I love you too.
What?
Tales from the Borderlands. Telltale at their peak. Choices that feel impactful. Characters that are relatable, comedic, lovable, charming. God, I wish this hadn't spoiled the Borderlands franchise for me in a way. It's so good, it's easily my favorite Borderlands game. It's got everything. An incredibly likable protagonist in Reese. He's an idiot in the best of ways. He's a lovable idiot. He's got a lovable idiot best friend in Vaughn. And not to mention the other incredible characters in the game. Loaderbot, Athena, August, Gortys, and the GOAT, Fiona. So many likable and dynamic characters. But that's not all. You get some classic Borderlands characters showing up from Zero to Mordecai and more. It's a game that has a clear love letter to the franchise, and not just being made as a cash grab. I won't spoil much of the game, because it's got a fairly compelling storyline on its own. If you haven't already played it, go play it. It's Borderlands at its best with all the comedy, heart, characters it should have. I highly recommend it. The franchise really hasn't been the same, but we get this incredible game from the experience. Telltale don't always nail it, but when they do, they hit gold with games like this one. Just go play it already. That's all I'm going to really say.
I have seen some clips of this one, and I do like the characters. Unfortunately, this is around where Borderlands peaked.
Yep, this is my favorite Borderlands game. It's not even made by the Borderlands devs.
Even over Borderlands 2?
Yes.
That's saying something. 2 is well, it is easily the best.
Yeah, that's kind of a statement.
Of the main games, at least. Apparently, Peter feels different.
Yes, Tales is peak.
Yeah,
Don't mix it up with the new Tales from the Borderlands. That we don't talk about that one. Moving on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Borderlands was taught as one of the best franchises, but it really is just 2. And then
I
apparently
mean, pre-sequel's pretty good.
Pre-sequel was very controversial when it came out.
I like it.
Played a little bit. It was fine.
And Athena from Tales from the Borderlands is in that game too.
I heard. All right then.
Take a wild guess who I played when I played pre-sequel.
Claptrap.
No, get out of here. And yeah, that's about it. I don't want to speak too much about it. I just want people to experience that one. That's my shout out. If you will.
All right then.
Not bad at all.
We're right back to you.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Well. Oh shit, here we go again. Well, the next one on my list is gonna be Baldur's Gate. Looking at whoever took Baldur's Gate.
You're welcome.
But since that's already been taken, I'll go with Sky Children of Light. It's I don't have the image for it again. Whoops.
It's all right.
I've
heard of this one.
Yeah, it's an MMORPG, not like a regular RP. Oh my god, there's a motorcycle outside. Not like a regular RPG, but it's basically the same thing. Cause in order to have the multiplayer option, you'd have to like use candles for that, and you can completely ignore the multiplayer option entirely. You could just play the game. But it's a very relaxing, kind of cozy game where you play as a child of light. You go around collecting little candles of light, and as you do so, you can expand your flight size and fly around longer and get to higher places, all sorts of things. And you basically explore the land of, well, I don't know if the lands actually have names, but you explore the different lands. There's prairie, there's butterfly meadows, there's the rainy forest, all sorts of places. They're all very cozy, and the music's very relaxing. It kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley mixture. Without farming in Stardew Valley, obviously. But I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a cozy game to just kind of relax with.
You know
this
what?
This is another one that just looks adorable.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Journey.
It's made by the same people.
That would explain why, because their outfits are very similar.
The character models remind me of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
Yeah, it has its own story, kind of like Journey. obviously you don't have to go and do the story. In your first playthrough, you have to, just to get a feeling for everything. But after that, you are totally able to just roam, do whatever you want, do seasonal quests, whatever. You don't have to do the main storyline. It kind of operates like a battle pass system where you get currencies and then you can get rewards for doing so. But ultimately, like, you could just walk around and it be a cozy game. You don't gotta do anything special.
So, some people already know my controversial opinion on Journey. I didn't care much for it, but visually speaking, it was a very beautiful game, and it seems that they are very consistent with this. And I played Flower, also a visually beautiful game. It's just something they're really good at, apparently.
Yeah, the multiplayer aspect of Sky Children of Light you can completely ignore. Unlike the other games where you have to get help from other people. But in Sky, you could play by yourself or play with others.
I didn't need help when I played. The people
but
I
the
played
way
with
that
didn't help.
Yeah, but the way that it operates in Sky is that you offer them candles that you get throughout the game, which you don't have to do. You can play by yourself.
You just vibe.
Yeah.
Vibing is historically pretty fun.
If you have, for those that have not played Journey or Flower, if you just want to relax, this is the kind of game you would want to play. Well, unless Turtle, you have any little things to add, I shall go on with my next pick.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Alright. I'm gonna get a little goofy then. A little goofy amongst a bit of seriousness, I guess, is the best way to describe this game. Earthbound. You know,
always a solid option.
Yes, the precursor to Undertale, despite what some people would actually say. But Earthbound, classic RPG. Some people may prefer Mother 3. I would not blame you for that. I prefer Earthbound to Mother 3. Your typical turn-based RPG style, as things are, but set in a pretty civilian world with a bunch of weird things going on. You just play as a kid who, you know, Ness, who has been given some kind of fantastical power that he unlocks, some sort of psychic power. I don't think they really explain how he gets it, he just kind of has it. And you just go along a journey to different places that are similar-esque to real-world places. You know, start in a suburban neighborhood, suburban like rural kind of neighborhood. And you meet a fly from the future who tries to save you from a man from a star man robot thing from the future. And then the fly beats him. You go back to your house. He's like, you must rest and get ready. And then he gets swatted down. And he's dead. The fly man is dead. This game does not take itself seriously, like, for the most part, despite how serious, like, the situation is. Save the world before it is completely destroyed by Giygas. And on your way, you're being mocked by your neighbor, Porky, who just sucks. Porky sucks. You wish the worst upon Porky, because he's just mean for no reason. And for the longest time, everything's going in Porky's favor. He becomes a rich billionaire philanthropist, and he's just in your way to annoy you, because he just doesn't think you deserve to have anything. He just hates you for no reason. So you just go along, you're being nice to people, you're solving all the problems that are going to along. It's just a weird game. It's a weird, fun, silly Nintendo game. I can't really explain much about it. It's really something you should experience for yourself. It's just odd.
You want to know a fun little thing with that game?
Yes.
The reason I discovered it exists is because of a game series, or like a YouTube series called Creepy Gaming. They did Earthbound Giygas' Origins. It was actually a like 5-year-old video or something kind of crazy now, but yeah, it was just like, oh, that's how I found out that's a thing.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I learned about this one when Melee came out.
Makes sense. Especially because they got better representation in that game, since they actually had stages in that, and you got more details with the trophies.
Right, yeah, because I didn't particularly care to look into who Ness was when he was an unlockable in Smash for the 64, but when Melee came out and they expanded on it a little more, I'm like, huh, like maybe there is something to this kid.
Not the most well, actually, it is pretty accessible these days. If you have NSO Online, you can play it because they have it on Nintendo Switch Online. Just play it on the SNES. There you go. So if you want to experience it, you can.
Solid choice.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, I want to say nothing too crazy, but it is just a bizarre game.
Well, I don't think we're any stranger to those.
Well, please experience it. It is worth it if you haven't already.
One day.
But I shall pass it along.
Much appreciated. And for this next one, I feel I would be remiss not to include it. It's another nostalgia pick for me, and one that, Doc, you have indulged me once before. Gauntlet Dark Legacy.
Midway Games. In an ancient time, the evil mage Garm, using the power of the runestones, released a great evil upon the land. This demon, Scorn, broke free of Garm's control, crushing him and imprisoning his soul in the underworld. Scorn then released his minions upon the lands and scattered the runestones across the 8 realms so that they might never again be assembled and used against him. No one has dared try. Until now. Gauntlet. Dark Legacy.
Ooh. Mixed on this one. I'm mixed on this one.
What do a sorceress, a warrior, a valkyrie, a knight, an archer, a wizard, a dwarf, and a jester all have in common? Well, when an evil demon unleashes his hordes of minions upon their lands, and a summoner calls them to his tower to fend off the calamity, quite a bit, it turns out. This was back when a plot could be summed up in its entirety by the game's opening cutscene. In an ancient time, the evil mage Garm, using the power of the runestones, released a great evil upon the land. This demon, Scorn, broke free of Garm's control, crushing him and imprisoning his soul in the underworld. Scorn then released his minions upon the land and scattered the runestones across the 8 realms so that they might never again be assembled and used against him. No one has dared try until now. As an arcade game ported over to home console, one expects straightforwardness, and thankfully Gauntlet meets those expectations perfectly. Up to 4 players assume the roles of one of the 8 champions, with palette and style swaps available if 2 friends favor the same character. And then they steamroll through the expansive levels, turning the forces of evil into clouds of red mist, picking up the scattered runestones as they go. The levels are linear, and the gameplay is as simple as moving and holding down your attack button most of the time. Even so, there's a certain nostalgic appeal to this game for me, from its presentation to its playthrough. We start to finish this on Doc's channel before, a good number of years back now, and during that time I mentioned that this was the game that made me want to go out and buy a GameCube after playing it at a friend's house. Even now, it's one that I'll go back to occasionally and play through if I'm feeling like a bit of mindless fun. And there's a cheeky appeal to launching your character's special attack or bringing down a thunder hammer and watching every enemy on the map just burst open like a ketchup packet. Midway might have put out a game that's middling to critics, but it holds a special place to me. And for those of you who do feel inclined to go and watch our playthrough of this on Doc's channel, there was a point, I believe it was in the Battlefields area towards the end. Yes, I do know that Bullet with Butterfly Wings is a Smashing Pumpkins song, not a Rage Against the Machine song. It was late, I was tired, I misspoke.
I just didn't even know.
That's the most 2000s game cover I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
Isn't
it was originally an arcade game. That's part of the reason why. I mean, this version maybe not, but like the series as a whole was.
Yeah, I believe just Gauntlet. Yeah, Gauntlet was the arcade platform, and then Dark Legacy was the home console port. I believe. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah. Be aware if you do play the GameCube version, there is some game-breaking bugs, mostly with the tip pickup, because apparently if you pick them up, there's a chance it'll break your game, unless you're in the ice world, which it will just break your game for some reason.
Yeah, if you pick up a scroll in the ice world, it will freeze and you will have to restart.
Yeah, we learned that way too late. I'm mixed on it just because in our experience we experienced so many of those game-breaking bugs, and you know our totally legitimate GameCube Wi-Fi was very it probably made it more difficult than it had to be.
That damn 2001 GameCube Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, not here.
But when it did work, I believe you'll agree, when it did work, it was fun.
It was fun. Like I said, it is repetitive after a while, so I can see it wearing on people, but I do miss arcade-style games, so it is nice. It is nice. Nice change of pace. The games that we selected between you and me, Chris, you can find on my YouTube channel. All of mine so far, and everything except for The Witcher 3, which eventually will be on there. It's on my huge list of things, so don't worry.
Nice.
Anyway, Chris, if you'd like to go on with your last one.
Most certainly would. And we're going to shake it up again, because for my final pick, I put forward Disgaea, Hour of Darkness.
King Krijevskoy, the mighty ruler of the Netherworld. His long reign came to an abrupt end as the news of his death spread throughout the Dark Land. Ambitious demons rose one after another to seize the opportunity. And thus began the age of turbulence and anarchy. 2 years later,
another one eventually I'll get around to.
Welcome to Hell, or the Netherworld more specifically. One of many, as we learn in this title, and which gets greatly and sometimes cartoonishly expanded upon in later installments. But in this Netherworld, the one that started it all, they have a problem. The reigning overlord, King Krijevskoy, has died, and his son Prince Laharl is thought dead as well. The Netherworld is in the throes of war-torn turmoil as demons of all kinds compete for the throne and the coveted title of Overlord. Unbeknownst to them, Prince Laharl isn't quite as dead as everybody thought. With his vassal Etna and the Celestian angel Flawn in tow, he's on a mission to prove to the entire Netherworld that he is the one true Overlord, and he'll conquer the whole damned place to do it. The plot is equal parts simple and ridiculous. The misadventures that Laharl and his allies get themselves involved in on his quest for his father's throne are downright laughable at times. But throughout the humor and the more tongue-in-cheek dialogue, some serious issues come to light that help the immature and selfish prince grow, however slightly, as a person and as a ruler. All the while, Laharl's nature as a demon causes him to insist that no matter what good he does for his friends and subjects, it's all for a vile and heinous cause. But even his strict adherence to perceived evil and his disavowing of concepts like love and kindness stem from issues in his past which the game unpacks as Laharl's adventure continues. For a title released on the PS2, the graphics and gameplay are remarkably simple. Simplistic avatars and Fire Emblem-style tile-based maps take the forefront, and the player is given the option of various different units, weapons, spells, and skills to customize their demon army however they please. The main story can be beaten and all endings achieved fairly easily, but there's a hidden layer of complexity that can keep players coming back for more. Unlocking the secrets of the item world is typically the only way to gain the strength necessary for some of the more challenging post-game maps, even with the daunting character level cap of 9,999. At a certain point, it becomes just as much about strategy as it is about making big numbers fly across the stream when you swing your sword at something. All to the backdrop of a soundtrack that all but promises to be stuck in your head long after you set the controller down.
I've heard good things about Disgaea. From you. I know almost nothing about this series.
I know almost nothing, and I just got sidetracked by the fact that there's a Power Rangers reference, the Prism Rangers.
Yes, the Prism Rangers. Oh, they're great.
That just sidetracked me completely of paying any attention to the game, really.
Yeah, they feature more heavily in subsequent games. They're, I think you only really ever recruit one of them in Hour of Darkness.
That's fun.
You only need one.
But yeah, it's great. Like, despite his character faults, and believe me, he has many, Laharl, I believe, is a good protagonist. So much so he appears usually as a post-game character, like a post-game recruitable in every subsequent Disgaea game.
Yeah, I have no feeling strong or weak towards this one. I do like the art style and the remasters they've done for the PC versions, because they remastered pretty much all the games for PC.
Right.
So, it looks nice. I can say that much at least. That's about as much as I can say on it. I am curious to play this one. From what I hear, they do have a class system, like a job system of some sort.
Yes.
So, I
yes,
like those
so
types of games.
every unit, so like you can get like a fighter, which is like versed in all weapons, so your sword, axes, lances, whatever. Then you can get a brawler, which is fists, and then if you level both of them up to a certain point, then it unlocks the ninja class, which is kind of a dip in both of those, albeit to its own original extent.
Interesting. Eventually I'll play. Alright, well then I guess it's my turn now. And I just said how I like a job system. And surprisingly, I have pretty much not picked any of them with any kind of job system. So you know what I'm going with? Going with Octopath Traveler.
Hells! Is he man or beast? He's but one, yet fights like a score!
Gods have mercy. That's the unbending blade of Hornburg! Ulberich Eisenberg!
So,
nice.
Kind of a spiritual successor to the Final Fantasy series, at least the original Final Fantasy series, where you could customize your classes a little bit. You have 8 characters to choose from, as the name kind of implies. Each one starts with a base kind of job that they can start with. And then as the game progresses, you can give them a second job. And then you can kind of mix the two qualities of the job. So each character can be their main job and then one of the other characters' jobs. And then there are 4 unlockable ones you can find that are like master jobs. Not going to go too much into that, but you got your basic rogue, warrior, thief, and you have scholar, which is basically your mage. But then you have your kind of weird ones. You have your merchant, which specializes in wind magic and spears. Every class specializes in a mix of weapons or magic, depending on which class. I'm blanking on the other 3. You have your dancer class, my personal favorite, specializing in dark magic, weirdly enough, and I think also knives. Actually, you got a bit good mix, and you can choose 4 party members. They'll all grow together, and each character has their own individual story they go through, which all connect in the end, albeit not super well. Which hopefully they improved in 2. I have not played 2 yet. If 2 is better, I probably would have picked 2. But I love the characters in 1. Personally, again, personal favorite, Primrose, the dancer. Her whole story is trying to find her dad, who was murdered. She was a rich girl, and she doesn't know why her dad was murdered. She just knows she saw 3 dudes with black crows on their hands, or somewhere on their body. She's like tattoos of them, and she's trying to go through it. And all the characters have some sort of thing to go through. Each one has 4 chapters. Your first one is kind of your introduction to them. Second one is like beginning of their quest. Second chapter or third chapter is them like, all right, here we got to get to the conclusion. I found the person I'm looking for, where to go. Fourth one is their final boss of their chapter, and you have to switch between all 8 characters to complete the game. It's just nice as an RPG to return to this, because Square has kind of strayed away from that style after so long, because this came out in 2018, maybe a little before that, 2016 maybe?
I believe so, yeah.
2019, okay, so I knew it was somewhere when I was in college, I just couldn't remember when. And it has this beautiful art style, which for some reason Deadlock doesn't like. I'm throwing shade at him right now. I don't know why he doesn't like it. It does this 2D in a 3D environment kind of thing, and I absolutely love the art style of it, especially like in the snowy areas or the sandy areas where the sand is glittering like glitter. You know, you got the gold shot.
That canyon area outside the area where Therion's quest starts.
That's art style in this game is absolutely beautiful. Like, if nothing else, this in itself is almost worth playing it just for the art style.
Dude, the art style and the like, I know I keep throwing back to this with a lot of games. The soundtrack absolutely slaps.
Oh yeah, I use a lot of their. Well, I did when I was editing like our D&D stuff, or no, when I was playing D&D, and I was DMing. I used a lot of their music. It's just so good.
I still do that.
Oh yeah, no, they absolutely banger soundtrack. Which when we go back to OSTs, you might see this one there. So be ready for that one.
I gotta say, I'm gonna join you with Bullying Dead on this one. It does look really nice, especially environments.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what his problem is with this game. He deserves to be bullied for it.
I think this is the game people keep saying, like, this is what Pokemon should go to, like this sort of like art style.
Maybe not necessarily with the color tone, but I can see what people are saying with this.
Yeah.
Because this one, the color tones are a little more desaturated in this game.
Just like the Pokemon 3D models. There you go.
Well,
shots fired.
I have that problem with the Switch as a whole. A lot of games are desaturated.
Yeah.
But yeah, Octopath Traveler. I think it's an excellent closer, so I had to go for it.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
Again, another one you can find on the YouTube channel somewhere. Just type it in.
Doc, all I gotta say, a fine addition to my Steam wishlist.
There you go. Like I said, the second one might be better. I don't know yet. Alright, Turtle, please finish off your list.
Alright, this is my last one, and it's kind of out of the left field for all the other picks that I had. But it was an RPG, and I played it, so it fit the list. Monster Prom.
Fire chick. Nice. Alright, so these are the love interests I can hit on, huh? Obviously, there has to be a mermaid princess, doggo dude, sex ghost, and, right, a snake lady. Classic. Ooh, choices. I like choices. I'm gonna ask the hipster vampire dude out to prom. And of course, I get rejected. You know what? Fuck this! Amanda, Jake, get in here! We're dating
But the description says it's a competitive dating simulation game where players take on the role of a monster trying to secure a prom date within 3 weeks. But basically, you pick a monster from the array of characters that you're given. I think you only have like 4 that you could pick from in the first game. I heard that there's another game coming out, which looks really cool. But basically, you get to pick from 4 characters. I think there's 2 girls and 2 other characters that don't really go by gender. But you basically have 3 weeks to rizz up another character in the game and convince them to go to prom with you. And you have choices that could increase your affinity with them, but none of them are normal. You have all of your choices are chaotic and or mildly violent. Like, you could go up to your crush and try and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" But you have the choice of throwing a hornet's nest at them or being downright embarrassing. None of the choices that you have are normal. But I think it's very fun. I only played it a few times, so the choice, like, my words are probably not describing it very well. I gotta play it again sometime. But I definitely recommend it if you like chaotic simulation romance games.
Your words are doing a good job of making me want to look further into this, so consider it a success on that front.
I think I've seen my friend, I forget whose stream it was necessarily, I think it was Nini, but my friend Nini the Neko, who was streaming this with my friend, with Green the Azumeral, and my friend Gigi and someone else who I didn't know, so I unfortunately don't remember the name, I'm sorry. But they were all, like, reading for certain characters, and it was just ridiculous, like, what was going on in that game.
Apparently it's $4 on Switch right now. I might actually get this and play it with AJ.
something a little silly.
It's very silly, very chaotic, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a laugh.
Well, I'm always in the market for those these days.
Jolly good.
Jolly good. Nice job, Turtle. We're almost there.
Agreed.
But it's Peter's turn, and he gets to end off today.
Real? Alright, well, I'm gonna... So, Splinter, you remember I told you that there was 2 games I picked that Bomber was kind of questioning, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming Club Penguin was one of them.
Yep. Here's my second one. I'm gonna choose a game I bet no one here even knows exists. Because this is my niche pick. I'm gonna pick Spiral Knights. The Spiral Knights is a nostalgic pick for me. It's a co-op-focused MMORPG. It was formerly published by Sega. The game has a lot of fun cosmetic crossovers. There's Team Fortress 2 hat you can obtain by owning the game in TF2. There's Easter egg references in the cosmetics featuring Tails and Metal Sonic, as you can see in the images that I've provided. For owning certain Sonic games on Steam, Sonic CD was one of them. But beyond that, it's a free-to-play, quick-to-boot into MMORPG for playing with friends. There's a quaint little combat system with a basic type system, kind of akin to Pokemon. while having a sort of hack and slash combat mixed with puzzles and bosses with RPG mechanics, a gear system to grind in more. It's a very nostalgic game for me personally, growing up and not having the strongest PC in the universe even for the time. I preferred games that could even run on a toaster, and this was one of them. I sunk a fair few hours into it over the years. It's a nostalgic sort of comfort revisit for me at times, with most recent visit being last year in March. It's got a good little aesthetic to it, and some of the surprisingly decent music. The gameplay's decent enough to be engaging, with some fun bosses like Snarbalax being my favourite. Snarbalax is a mechanic where it's a beast-like creature. It's immune to damage in its normal dark blue fur-coloured state with glowing red eyes. When it's stunned by the beast bell that you hit in the middle of the arena when you fight it, when you're locked into the boss arena with giant gates blocking your way in and out, it becomes vulnerable, becomes brown with green eyes, and it sort of visually tells you you can damage the boss kind of thing. It's a very easy to play game, but it still has a bit of challenge to it, so it's not too boring. And it has multiple boss phases and everything else with that particular boss fight and others. It's a very sort of fun, nostalgic, charming little game. Pick up a few friends and go play it. It's free to play, so. Yeah, that's my
the character models make me think of Astrobot.
Yeah, it's got a really cutesy, sort of charming playstyle.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Free to play, so you don't lose anything by trying it.
And that's definitely true. You can at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
All these games we have presented, you should give a shot if you get the opportunity to, or at least look into.
Very much so.
Yeah, I'm adding a few to my wish list at the bare minimum.
Yeah,
I'm liking these crossover cosmetics too. That's pretty cool.
All right, that's our last one. So so Turtle. This is where we get to the ranking system. We'll still go in order of the initial order, so you can still get a feel for this. So don't worry. So Chris, would you mind starting us off?
Indeed. And I know it's a cliche, but there really aren't a lot of bad lookers here. But the axe has to fall somewhere, and today it falls on Peter. Yeah, nothing personal, but Mass Effect and Borderlands are two series that I, perhaps controversially, am not overly fond of. I'm indifferent to Knights of the Old Republic, and frankly any Star Wars game after the original Battlefront 2 on the PS2. I've yet to hear of Spiral Knights, but now that I have, I plan on looking into it. And I do appreciate the nostalgic wholesomeness with which you presented Club Penguin.
Yeah. Chris is more of a fantasy than he is a sci-fi.
Very much so. And in the event she ever features on one of these lists, so is my wife. Then second place, Turtle, here's your first silver medal.
Yay.
Yeah, I admittedly have not heard of any of these, but every single one, just from what I looked up and hearing your description of it, I actively now want to engage in all 5 of these. I want to know what this is about, especially Monster Prom. I feel like my wife and I might be able to get several hours out of playing, one of us playing and the other laughing over their shoulder. Which, of course, leaves Doc with the gold. Bloodborne, again, I've lightly dipped my foot in the social experiment in masochism that is Souls games. So I haven't touched Bloodborne just yet, but I am familiar with it. I have watched your Parasite Eve playthrough. I subscribe to the channel. And I believe I think I may have even featured in 1 or 2 episodes of the Sacred Cards.
Maybe. That was a while ago, so.
Yes, and it's, like you said, the element system is niche to the game, but also very similar to the Guardian Stars and Forbidden Memories, so it got a pass. Earthbound, again, just classic Nintendo title. It's kind of hard to go wrong with those. And Octopath Traveler I have also played and enjoyed, so there you have it.
Oh yeah. I'm really hoping when I get my hands on 2, that 2 fixes the few problems that Octopath had. That being said, it is now my turn, and I unfortunately am sorry for what I'm... Oh, hold on. That's an undo right there. There we go. I'm sorry, Peter.
I'm never joining another video game topic again.
Poor Peter.
For a while, you were rocking them. Don't forget, you had a streak going.
Yeah, but every time I join video game ones, I appear to be cursed.
Well, again, I like Mass Effect 3. I haven't played the main game of it, but the gameplay is better. So at least I know that. I don't really have too much of an opinion on Mass Effect 3. It is positive, though, just because I enjoyed the multiplayer. Club Penguin, nostalgic and fun game. But even as a kid, I personally didn't enjoy it too much, but I don't know. Maybe that's
I'm gonna go play some Club Penguin after this to comfort myself.
Peter, if we didn't kill you in the rankings, how would you be a ghost type?
Knights of the Old Republic. I haven't gotten around to, so I've got no feelings one way or the other on that one. Tales of the Borderland, I don't really like the Telltale games. This is probably the best of them, but I just don't find those games fun. That's more of just that type of game that doesn't work for me. In Spiral Knights, I have no opinion on either, so I'll give it a shot. I'm not big on MMOs. I always lose interest very quickly, despite my best. I try just interest.
Well, don't
Looking at you, Phantasy Star.
Go on you.
Alright, one of these days. So, second place, I am also giving Turtle. I was very interested in Colonist. Indivisible really caught my attention. I really like that art style. Armello, I already am somewhat familiar with, thanks to Sam and Baffy. And I really want to play. I know I would probably enjoy it because I love those types of games. Like I said earlier, I love them. I'm terrible at them. So I'll probably still have a good time with that when I eventually get around to it, and when I can get my hands on it. Children of Light was the one thing I'm like, I love the art style. I really liked Flower. I didn't like Journey, so I'm not sure how I would feel when I actually play this one, but I might give it a chance. And in Monster Prom, this one, for me, these kinds of games don't really do it for me. But, you know, if it's a cheap game, so if I get my hands on it, at least then I don't like it. At least I didn't spend much money on it. And at the very least, I can do some silly stuff with it, it sounds like. And then, obviously, first place, Chris. Because Disgaea, job system, I already said I like that. Nice art style. I have to get around to playing it. So. Gauntlet was probably the weakest pick for me, just because of those technical issues we had. I have more of a negative connotation with this game. But past the technical issues, it was a good game, but it's still just because of our experience, this one was a negative for me. Witcher 3.
Yeah, but it was fun to traipse through the world with the Ratman and the schoolgirl.
I miss my Jester.
I miss my wizard.
Witcher 3, I haven't played. I have a bit more of a like for this one, but that definitely is also kind of because of the TV series, which I enjoyed. So hopefully when I play it, I'll have just as much enjoyment, if not more. I want to see more monsters. So, Majora's Mask.
Triss is a lot. Triss is a lot better looking in the game than she is in the series.
I don't even remember what she looks like in the series. But Majora's Mask, almost unfair because you knew I would have picked this one had I realized that I didn't have it on my list. Would have picked that one first. So I mean, like, what was it? Moon Game. It's Moon Game.
You know what's funny about that too? You forget that, and in the last video, Chris picked Minecraft, and I forgot about Minecraft.
Yeah, I think Chris keeps, like, absorbing our information pre-recording or something. I don't know what's going on there.
What are you talking about? I don't have the ability to steal memories. Why are you putting that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
Anyway. And then Baldur's Gate 3, it's just D&D the game, and I haven't gotten the chance to play it, but I know I'm gonna like it when I play it. Like, I
truly didn't have an appreciation for how disgusting Mind Flayer Society truly was until I played this game.
I'll find out more when I eventually get my hands on it. That's what I have to say about most of these games.
If I had one.
It truly would. I prefer to use my own footage if I can help it. Ugh. Alright, so Turtle, it's now your turn to rank everyone. You get to pick, start off at third, then go to second and then first. You can tell us your reasoning, you don't have to.
Boy.
No one's going to take offense, so don't worry about, any of that.
Joke's on you, I'm gonna get shanked in the back alley as soon as I leave this call. No, I'm kidding.
Don't forget
that's not where we have Sam. Sam ready.
But, I I hate to do this to you because you're the host of it, but Doc, you're the third place on my list. Only because I've never. I'm sorry. I've never played any or even heard of any of the games that you listed. Maybe Parasite Eve, but the only game that I know of is Bloodborne. But even then, I've never played Bloodborne.
That's fine.
So yeah, you're third on my list. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. It's okay. I'll only be very offended for a week.
Real talk, Turtle. Are you one of those like grass touchers that exist in Myth?
No.
A little bit, only because I walk to work. I occasionally touch grass because I am walking next to grass to. Sorry.
Anyway.
Work a video game?
Shush.
I don't understand.
Moving on.
I wish. If washing dishes was a game, I wouldn't enjoy it. Anyway, second on my list is Fexic. Sorry, I don't know if that's your username.
Yeah,
okay.
No, you got it.
Chris. Only because, and for the same reason as Doc, I've never played any of the games besides Baldur's Gate 3, and I have like 500 hours of Baldur's Gate 3, so I enjoyed that one. So
clearly,
I really enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3, but I've never played The Legend of Zelda, any of the games really. I never played The Witcher, though I want to, and I've never heard of Gauntlet or Hour of Darkness. So
well, as we've plugged, Doc here has our playthrough of that on his channel, so you can dip your feet in that way and see if it's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah. And then number one on my list is Peter, because I really loved Club Penguin when I played it as a kid. I wish it was still around. I'm sad it's gone. And I made an emote off of the dance of it, so I obviously still enjoyed the game, even though it's gone now.
Don't worry, Turtle will have to send me that file so I can put it in the video at some point.
And Mass Effect 3 is my favorite. I still have to finish my Insanity run for the second one, but I loved 2 and 3 for Mass Effect. I've never played Tales of Borderlands, and I've only mildly heard Spiral Knights from my brother when he played. But the only Star Wars game I've ever played was the Lego version on the GameCube.
Oh, that's fair. Lego games are good.
They are good. There you go, Peter. Someone appreciates your picks.
Yeah, that's my ranking.
Let's go! I'm appreciated!
Alright,
Penguin Victory Royale!
It's your turn.
Okay, this was really difficult, because I knew who was winning this, basically, immediately, but the bottom... Oh, God, this was difficult. Doc, I'm sorry.
What the hell is wrong with
What do
you?
you mean? Okay, so... I don't like Dark Souls. I played it a bit with Runa, and I really wasn't my thing. If I wanted to run into a wall for 2 hours, I'd just go do that in real life.
It's bad. It's a skill issue. It really is.
Yeah, really is. Parasite Eve I've heard of, but I've just heard of it. Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's an old franchise, I understand.
Game that I don't really know, so I'm just kind of like nodding and agreeing
Wow.
based on my other Yu-Gi-Oh! Game
Fake
knowledge.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Player.
Yeah, imagine. Earthbound's respectable, and Octopath is straight on my wish list.
Okay.
Like,
At least I got you with the last job. I'll accept that at least.
Yeah. Turtle, honestly, you won me at Armello, just above Doc, with that alone, because I really appreciate Armello. That's a good shout, and I'm kind of interested in Monster from even the dating games aren't my thing. It seems very, like, fun and kind of goofy. I'd be kind of down for that on a fun level. And the other ones are very, like, niche picks, so I kind of appreciate the boldness. They're very out there.
Yay, I got a second place again.
Yeah, you're in the middle for all of us.
Second right across the board. Good job, Turtle.
And, yeah, so for my definitive winner, basically from the beginning, is Chris. Very controversially to me, usually putting Chris at bottom, but here we go. Baldur's Gate 3, really respectable, as I said. My partner's really enjoying that game, so the bits I've seen I've really enjoyed, and I just very much respect that game on a creative level. Moon Game, It's Moon Game.
God, yeah,
Enough
I know.
said.
I would have, I would have put that on there. That probably would have boosted me a bit.
Yeah. Witcher 3. Again, I'd have picked it if it wasn't for the fact that I've only played the base game once. I've not done the DLCs, and I'm waiting to do my second playthrough when I find time in this world. Gauntlet was your 1 weak point for me because I just, no.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a me pick made almost independent of everyone here.
Disgaea, I wasn't interested, and then I found the Power Ranger thing, and I'm like, you know what, I can respect this.
Disgaea, I heard, is really good. I just hadn't knowledge it. But that being said, I have the results here. Although it might be pretty clear-cut.
Yep.
So, tied for last place, Peter. Apparently we have terrible taste in RPGs with 5 points across both our scores.
We did it, Reddit. We saved the city. I mean, I didn't intend to win this one. I picked Club Penguin and Spyro Knights. I knew I wasn't going to win.
I feel like I went a little underappreciated with my picks, but hey, what can you do, I guess. In second place, who would have guessed the person that got second across the board? Turtle. Congrats, Turtle.
Yay.
Pick up the Armello.
With a total of 6 points, by the way. I forget if I said that. And then with 8 points, almost, but not quite getting the clear here. Chris, congratulations. The king of RPGs.
You did it.
I think Baldur's Gate was the big one for most people. That and Majora's Mask among this group at least.
But this isn't enough. There needs to be RPG in real life. Turtle, I have a Luigi hat, and you are in prime position to be my Koopa Shell. Do you accept?
What the hell does that even mean?
Nobody knows.
Sure? Question mark?
I'm just gonna go find the cat.
This world is not ready for what comes next.
What is that? I don't even know what he's implying. Turtle, you might have just become the fall guy for an international incident.
Fall guy, like the game.
Oh no.
That being said, we'll let that situation brew, I guess. Peter, go find the cat. The rest of us will say goodbye. We'll see you later. Don't forget to check out Turtle's stuff in the description, and then anyone else's that I can put in the description.
I'm gonna shamelessly put the sticker in here.